Alright dudes, on today's episode of PDubs Arcade Loft, we're going to do our full review and installation tutorial for these 3D printed molded coin doors for your Arcade1Up cabinets by Retro530. I'll have links to all this in the video description below. These particular bundles cost $33, which isn't too shabby. We'll show you everything included. Inside the package for starters, you're going to get a very nice 3D printed coin door. Nice little custom design here by Retro530. This one's got the Namco logo on it because we're going to install this on our Arcade1Up Ridge Racer cabinet, which is a Namco cabinet. Got our fake coin doors, fake keyhole, fake slots for the coins, etc. You'll notice on the back, you're like, well, hey, how do you mount this thing? Well, this thing is going to be just simply mounted and held with these screws from the buttons that we're going to install. We're going to walk you through everything, of course. Taking a look, also inside of the package, you're going to get your buttons. If you get the full kit with the LED buttons, these are what they're going to look like. I went ahead and I went with just the standard 25 cents insert coin to play button. He does have custom Ridge Racer buttons that should be posted soon on his website that actually have kind of like an RR Ridge Racer type logo. But me, I'm kind of old school, want to have the buttons, and of course these are light up buttons. Got our little screw cap there. Those screw caps are what's going to hold this whole thing onto the cabinet. Got our little light bulb switch, got our micro switch, etc. And the last item included in the bundle is going to be the power cable. Nice little harness here that Retro530 Laramie Griffith put together for you. What's really cool about this setup is that once we get everything plugged in, provided you plug it in correctly, which I'll walk you through, those light up buttons on the coin door will light up with the cabinet as it turns on and off with the power switch on the control panel. The Arcade1Up Ridge Racer arcade cabinet is one of my favorite cabinets in my collection right now as of the shooting of this video. And we got this big black boring kick plate, so by adding this fake coin door on, should really spice it up a little bit. Alright, let's go through this step by step for you guys so you can see how easy anyone can do this mod. Step 1 is going to be to unscrew and remove your control panel. Make sure you unplug all the cables as well. What's really nice about this installation is you do not need to disassemble your cabinet completely. All you need to do is remove your control panel, as well as remove the back panel on the back of the cabinet. As you may remember from assembly, you do need to unplug that white cable in the back to get the control panel off completely. Step 2 is where you're going to want to plan personally where you want to install it. You have to remember that right where the control panel meets the kick plate, because it's at an angle there, you do have this K-bar, which is about a 4-inch wide bar, right? So if you're going to mount this thing, you're going to be drilling holes through the kick panel. You definitely don't want to do it in the top 4 inches right beneath the control panel, because you'll be drilling into that bar. What's nice about the Arcade1Up Legacy cabinets is they have that kick plate with that vinyl fake coin door on it, and you could just install these Retro530 molded coin doors, usually right on top of those, and use those as a guide. Here we have to be a little bit more careful. We don't have a fake coin door printed on this thing to mount this over, and we don't want to drill into that K panel. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just line this up, take a look from the top there. We want to make sure we're not drilling within the first 4 inches. If you have this thing just dead center right on the bottom of the kick plate where the kick plate meets the riser, you're going to be in a good spot. You're going to be about 5 inches down. You could lift this up, maybe go about 4.5 inches down and not be worried about drilling into that K-bar, but in this case, I'm just going to leave it right here. I think it'll be fine. Now, your package does come with this quick little instruction/guide sheet as well. You could use this, line this up on your cabinet if you want, but it does give you the dimensions of the buttonholes that need drilled. You'll notice right there in the center it says 24 millimeters, right? 24 millimeters. So we want to be able to drill that width into the kick plate. Now, you could use a step bit drill, but, I can tell you guys from prior experience, these step bit drills have a tough time drilling cleanly through kick plates or kick panels on these Arcade1Up cabinets. I would recommend using a 25 millimeter hole saw drill like this. This thing is going to cut through it like butter, a nice clean hole. It's not going to tear up the graphics, damage the cabinet. I won't have to drill it from the front and the back like with a step bit drill. We're just going to go in right from the front, and it'll be done within seconds. Alright, so I got that 25 millimeter hole saw drill head plugged into my power drill, And of course, I got this lined up dead center on the bottom lip of the cabinet. There's really no way this thing is going to get mounted crooked. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to hold the mold and just drill my pilot holes real quick. Just a couple of little holes, because obviously I'm going to need to get this mold out of my way to drill through the cabinet. Once I have the pilot holes there, I can go ahead and remove the mold and line up that drill head once again, and boom, pop right through the cabinet. Easy peasy, nice clean hole. Obviously, you're going to have to dust everything off, but clean, doesn't tear up the artwork, doesn't tear up the graphics. Would definitely recommend using a hole saw versus a step bit drill. Look at how neat. All right, I'll walk you through installing the second button. I just put the first button in there, that way it would hold the unit up and I don't have to worry about it falling over. I did have an accident, guys. Unfortunately, I had the mold by my feet, and when I stood up, I accidentally stepped on it and broke off that little coin door flap right there. But hey, it gives it a little bit of personality like a real arcade now. But be careful where you put your stuff, guys. Okay, let me walk you through how you get these buttons installed. So obviously, we can't get these buttons through that drill hole with all this stuff on here. So you do need to remove the micro switch from the little prongs. There's two prongs that always hold the micro switch in. Just pull one a little bit to the side, and then you'll be able to kind of just lift up and get the other one out. So the micro switch is there. And then, of course, we need to get that nut off of there, the little screw nut. But, of course, the light bulb is in the way. That's what this piece is right here. What's really nice about these is these just kind of lock in. All you have to do is untwist and pull, and they'll come right out. Now, from here, we can go ahead and get this little nut off, and now we can go ahead and push the button through the hole. Once you push the button through the hole, you can, because you removed your control panel, you could easily reach over and now screw that nut in, locking the button onto the coin door. And with both of those buttons on there, this coin door ain't moving anywhere. It's on your cabinet. And from the inside of the cabinet, again, we're just doing things in reverse, getting our buttons put back together in the opposite way that we took them apart. We're going to go ahead and get our little light bulb slid inside of the buttonhole now. You'll notice there's some interesting grooves about halfway up the button. You need to line those up to twist and lock this in. You'll know it's in there properly if you have the grooves lined up and you're just simply able to twist and lock, twist and lock. See that? Unlock, lock, that's simple. And once you have it locked in, go ahead and get your micro switch planted back on top of there. Make sure you get it lined up in the holes, you'll be good to go. I'm going to have to put the camera down and use my second hand to pop that in. I still need to dust and clean everything off, but so far so good. Everything's coming together nicely. Okay, now we're going to take that very long harness cable that was provided to us by Retro530 with the kit, and you'll notice that we have all kinds of prongs sticking out of this button thing. You're going to want to go ahead and get your wires set up just like this. Black on the left, yellow on the right, yellow on the right. And you're going to be plugging them into the side prongs, not onto the micro switch. That micro switch is obviously if we ever make this a functional button in the future and want to use it for pressing. Obviously, we just want to wire up the other prongs because that's what controls the light bulb, because all we want this thing to do is light up. I like this harness and the way that Laramie set this up for you. So what's really cool is we want to make sure the buttons are only on when the cabinet is on and turn off when the cabinet's off. So in order to do that, you want to make sure that you're splitting the power from the marquee power port on the PCB board. So that little cable on the right, that little port plug there, that's going to go in the marquee port in the PCB. And that marquee cable that's coming down from the top of the cabinet, we're going to make sure we plug it into this one right here. That way both the marquee and the buttons will turn on when the cabinet turns on, and they'll turn off when the cabinet turns off. This might be a little bit hard to see, but let's go ahead and get it done. So first things first, we're going to unplug the marquee. There's that wire for the marquee coming from the top. We're going to plug it into the first side of the Y splitter. And then we're going to go ahead and take this other side and we're going to plug that into the marquee port on the PCB. If you try to plug this into the power port on the bottom of the PCB, where the 12-volt power supply comes in, your buttons will be lit up all the time. We want to make sure they only come on and off when the cabinet is on and off. And guess what, guys? You are done. You can finish plugging everything back in, put your cabinet back together, put your control panel back on, put the back of the cabinet back on, and get everything ready. I still need to finish wiping everything off, but let's go ahead and let's flip on the on switch, and as you can see, These cabinets take a second to fire up. The marquee pops on, then the monitor starts popping on, and you'll notice that our light up buttons did light up at the same time as the marquee. I'm going to wipe everything down with a rag here in just a minute, but take a look at that. That looks pretty dang good in my opinion. Yes, you can install real coin doors into these arcade cabinets, and that's cool. I like doing that. I've done that before, etc. But sometimes you want to go a cost-effective, simple route, etc. Obviously, these aren't functional buttons at this time. They're more for looks, and I think it looks fantastic. I'm very happy with this. For $33 for this kit, I think it was well worth it. It's a shame I tripped and stumbled and stepped on it and broke off one of those little doors on the back panel. But I'm just going to tell myself that, hey, man, that's kind of what a real arcade looks like, right? They're always beat to heck. Something's broken on them. So I'll learn to live with it. I actually think it gives it a little bit of personality. Overall, very happy with this. And Laramie, thanks so much for sending this to me for the purpose of review. And I'll have links to this in the video description below. Definitely want to hear your guys' feedback and reactions. What do you think about these? Leave me those comments and feedback below. Give us a thumbs up on the way out if you enjoyed the video. And as always, my dudes, thank you for subscribing.